Good afternoon, Yuba Sutter. This is the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight, and we are live on 1410 AM, The Patriot, high atop Mount Huth. And it says it's 104 right now out there. Man, it's a little hot. We got the AC cranked up in here, though, so we're about 102 in here.
There you go.
So,
man, it doesn't even feel hot to me yet.
No, but you work for a living, so that's why.
Yeah.
Get acclimated pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I love the summer weather.
Oh, I do too. I was out with my tool bags on yesterday, up in my property with my shirt off, just going to town, man.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of a sunburn, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Felt good.
Yeah,
Get
but
out.
your hard hat has a can on each side of it. I've seen that.
My kid was counting how many I was drinking yesterday. He's like, come on, man. No, it was a good day. We got a lot of electrical stuff in without a permit, I must say. So, yeah.
We don't need no stinking permits around here.
No permits around here. No, not at all. So
you're not a fan of getting permission to have your God-given rights, performed.
I asked for forgiveness before I asked permission.
If you don't buy your permits, how are we going to take care of all the children?
I don't know. Well, all we got to do is reelect, what's her name? I was going to say Grace Espindola, but that's not the right one. She wants to be elected.
Preet
did ball.
Oh,
Yeah,
Preet.
She'll save the children for us.
Yeah.
So
She got a bunch of cages or something? Or what?
Could wrap them up inside.
wow.
Hey, I never saw any of those cage pictures, but I heard about them.
Oh yeah, that was
back under the Obama regime, if I remember right.
They're
trying to push them out here and put them on Trump, but most likely that's part of that child trafficking network,
Yeah.
which is global.
Oh yeah.
They're called Democratic playpens.
Democratic playpens.
Yeah, and they got a lot of good, solid Republican players there too. Guarantee it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
That's unfortunate.
Or good lying Republicans, maybe. How about that?
Just as the Father sends the rain on the good and the bad,
The just and the
stinking-
unjust.
stinking politicians are in there too.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when we're fighting the evil of the Democrats and the idiots of the Republicans. I mean, we need a little help. Actually, we need a lot of help.
Yep. Well, we went to church today, and we did a little reading on the book of Jeremiah. And Jeremiah was a prophet to Judah.
He wasn't a bullfrog?
Yeah. I like that song,
I'm
too.
sorry, I couldn't help it. Sorry,
So,
Lord.
Oh man, I guess I'm gonna have to find it now.
nothing's changed, you know what I
No.
mean? He was calling out against the princes of Judah or the politicians of Judah, and giving warning, So we still got the same kind of princes going on. Politicians, they like to call. If we change their title to Prince this and Prince that, I bet they just lap that right up, huh?
And they would lap it up. But I think there's
So,
a regulation in the Constitution against that.
yeah, no titles of nobility, but they'll still, put that little name up there, name tag that says the Honorable.
Honorable.
Yeah, the
Honor-
Honorable Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's honorable about that?
right. What's honorable about a judge that is trying to keep somebody in prison that's innocent, like the Bundys. Remember the good old Bundy program?
No, I don't even remember the Bundy program. That's been so long ago. We were supposed to forget about that by now.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe the masses have. They keep changing the narrative week to week, so people forget what happened last week.
Oh yeah.
So, what's happening in our local elections?
What's kind of interesting is we had, Bart Mark Boomgarden was texting into the radio show here a couple weeks ago and said that he would take the Constitution class. So he's in to take the Constitution class on, I forget what day it is. I'm sure I'll get a text on it here in a minute. But so David Shaw called Tammy this week and he's going to be running for city council also, and he's wrapped up into the Constitution class. So we have two that are going to take the Constitution class. So that means two of them that will be going and taking, getting them some radio ads going and getting them some other stuff for their campaigns going.
So have you talked to both of those guys at all?
I haven't talked to either one of them. I've had a really busy week this last week, so I didn't get a chance to talk to either one of them. But I know they both consented to take the class, so we'll be able to talk to them at the class and give them some time in on the class once they get ready to go.
Hopefully they're listening, and their motivation is just to learn a little bit more and get a little bit deeper into our constitutional rights and this wonderful form of government that was given to us by God Almighty. You know?
Well, and even regardless of what their motivation is, if they sit and listen, I think they'll learn something, because most people do. I learn something every week about the Constitution just because Tammy's into it so much and teaching the class, and I'm usually around the class or something, and it seems like I take something away from it every week. And I'm not even really, I'm not there involved in the class. I'm just kind of running in the background doing other stuff. But it seems like I always learn something every week. So, it'll be good.
I think that's
it's called osmosis.
That's exactly it.
Every human being, we got potential to keep learning.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's and then we also have the propensity to forget.
Yes, we do.
Right. So
That's very true.
It's a constant renewal that needs to take place.
Well, hopefully, I got some other flyers here. Grace Espindola is running. At least I haven't talked to her yet, but I do have her flyer that was handed to me today. And then Stacy Brookman is also running. Haven't heard hide nor hair from them about taking a Constitution class, but we'll see.
Well, you can go to Grace's website and get her email. I think it's graceforyubacity.com or at gmail.com.
Yeah, and I'm not going to chase them down. They can come to us.
We could send out a come visit us thing.
I guess. Yeah. I'm just
kind of they need us more than we need them.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I'm looking at it. Is we're the people. We're in power, not the other way around.
We are?
Yes, we are.
Yes, and I like that, Jason.
If we're in power, we're going to run down a rabbit hole here. You know how much the governor gets paid a year?
I have no idea. I hope
a hell of a lot less than some of our city and county employees are.
That's what I was just going to say, Bill. Hopefully it's not less than the fire chief.
$195,000 a year.
Yeah. But I heard he got his road paved out there to his ranch.
He might have got some amenities out there in addition to that.
I mean, I talked to a guy who was on the road crew. You know what I mean? And I guess he's got a ranch out by Williams or somewhere in that area. And he said, they paved 5 miles of pristine road for the governor.
Do you know where that is? You're going toward the mountains on the other side of Williams, where you come to that fruit stand, that big fruit stand there on the corner. If you go straight, that's going on to Jerry's house.
Okay. He said about 1 or 2 cars went down that road all day long. You know?
Well, it's a lot of traffic on it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my teeth are getting jarred every time I'm driving around Yuba City, man. And not to mention Marysville, I got to stay on the main drag in Marysville.
Well, now there's a couple of, you notice that all the negotiations with the public union employees are private. They're closed session.
No.
But they do have a public comment section after that. So you can go talk about
you
something
comment
you can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's enlightening.
That's a violation of the Brown Act, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not a violation, but there's a Bagley-Keene Act, which is a state body or boards, commissions, administrative officers, and other representatives may hold a closed session with its representative for the purpose of discharging its responsibilities, may, and that's salaries, schedules, compensation, fringe benefits. And then there's also the Brown Act that holds to the same standards, may. So all these city councilmen and board of supervisors in these two counties are apparently holding secret meetings at their own discretion, talking about our money.
So let me ask you this, Bill. If the Second Amendment, does it say something like this? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms may not be infringed.
I think you're real close.
Does it say may not?
I think you're off by one word,
Will not be infringed.
6 or 8 letters. You might have to go on down the alphabet a little bit.
So it says shall not be infringed.
Shall.
Okay. So I guess these words mean something.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes,
I just got out of a meeting with the tech guy. We need a phase coupler.
Well,
A phase coupler?
I need a 5,000 watt phase coupler.
do those come on DeLoreans?
That's
what I was thinking.
That's exactly
you
what
sure
I was
it's not a
thinking.
flux capacitor?
That's exactly what I was thinking when he said it. A phase coupler. I'm like, huh.
He
That
probably
sounds
has-
like it should be on a DeLorean somewhere.
He probably has one on that Taurus in his driveway.
Well, I really wish we had a phase coupler because apparently we're driving out here, but we're not able to steer those antennas. We can just drive them, but we can't steer them. Not quite sure what that means,
Okay.
but there's 3 antennas out here at Mount Huth, and apparently we can drive them. We just can't steer them, so we're going in a straight line.
We need a 360.
Yeah,
Phase coupler.
That's what we do. 360 phase coupler.
Will that work, Larry?
I don't know if they make such an animal.
Yeah.
Larry, did
Sounds
they
like
make
a new
did
gender.
they make a 360 phase coupler? Or we can just go in one big circle? Yes. Oh, they do. They actually do. They make one. So
Oh, beautiful.
interesting. But anyways, that's what we need.
then maybe we'll be able to hear it over on Highway 70.
So, anyways, that's what we're looking at. But we're trying to get a radio guy out here that knows what he's doing to where we could maybe get some more power out of this thing out here. And it's kind of stepping outside of my zone. But I talked to one of the owners, Tom's wife, out here, and Mr. Huth, and was talking to her about it. And she said that it used to be 5,000 watts. And I'm like, well, we got a radio guy, that used to be in the military that can maybe help us out. So we were talking to him today and seeing what he could do for us maybe and get us a little bit more power.
Maybe
more power is always good.
Yes. Maybe we can get up to a gigawatt.
A gigawatt. No.
Maybe we
because
can
then you are
hook
going to
up-
need a flux capacitor.
We can hook a cable up to the tower in Marysville.
Do they have an old clock there?
I think they do on the old Tower Theater. Right? And then we can, get some, bring in some storm clouds.
This sounds like a movie.
Yeah. Modify the weather a little bit here.
Sounds like a movie we're talking about. So, anyways, back to the.
So
I didn't know what you guys were talking about. Bring me up to speed.
No, we're talking about the secret squirrel meetings they have when they negotiate salaries with the union.
Oh, the ones that you're telling me that don't have to be
Yeah.
private but are.
Right. Because the governor, who is over the whole state, he gets $195,000 a year salary. But it seems like some of our
Plus benefits.
less benefits.
And who knows what they are.
Seems like some of our public employees locally are just outdoing him head over foot.
So we could actually pay the governor's salary and be better off.
Yeah. Yeah, we could probably save several million.
Well, I think we fire from the top down.
We just can't afford all these little perks.
Yeah, exactly. Paving roads and building houses and doing stuff like that. So it ought to be interesting for the city council race that's coming up. And we also got, we got to have a sheriff race runoff. And
So is that official now? The votes
it's still not
100%
official.
counted?
No, negative.
No, I talked
Sounds
to
like there's about 2,000 left.
I talked to Donna Johnston last Thursday, I think, and she said that they'll have an update on Monday, and that there was still about 2,000 left.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I can't. Now, Yuba County is in, and John Missler is down by 14 points, and I talked to him on Thursday, too.
14 votes.
Emailed him
Recount.
and asked him if he was going to recount, but I never got back to him on Friday because he said he was going to decide on Friday. But 14 votes, they love him so much there at the county offices. I think you should go for it. I understand it's free, so.
Yeah, if it's less than 1%, I believe it's a free recount. He doesn't have to pay anything if it's less than 1%. I don't know where I've heard that. I think it was in my race, actually.
And that's, that's good, too, because it gives the county employees some more, good time learning to count. So.
And we'll volunteer. We'll go in and count them, eh?
Yeah, because I can wear my flip-flops, so I can get up to 10.
There you go.
So, I mean, I'd be willing to help.
Take pictures of your feet.
Now, I don't, hopefully they're not going
Get
to,
up to 20.
I don't want them putting in any overtime to count. You know what I mean? Just get it done in that 8 hours.
Oh, come on, Tom.
Yeah. And with the 2 10-minute breaks and a half hour for lunch. So there it is.
There you go.
But if you take a half hour for lunch, you can't leave for lunch and go and get anything then. You'd have to bring your lunch with
That's
you.
called brown bag.
You can't go to Walmart on your lunch.
Well, you can't go anywhere then.
You could.
Hours.
You just couldn't get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. They could drive back on the overtime.
Take you 20 minutes to find a parking spot.
So, even though there's 2,000 votes left to count, I don't see there being a 500 vote swing, towards Jeff from Houck, undisputed. I don't see that
right now he's got him about 500 votes.
About 500 votes was the last time I looked, was about 500. So it looks like it'll be Houck, and then the front runner, Brandon Barnes, will be doing the sheriff runoff for Sutter County is what it looks like. We should know Monday. They should be wrapping up that last vote count.
Now, I do believe, just by personal experience with talking with some people out in the public, that Mr. Houck got some sympathy votes.
So are you saying that I shouldn't pick on him so much? Is that
well,
what you're...
I'm just saying that I heard that, some guys seemed to be picking on him. And so the guy said, I switched.
Well, you don't want to bully a sheriff. That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the reason you switch, then you were kind of up in the air anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just telling you what I heard, man.
Hey,
So-
I got your back.
It would definitely seem that way if that's going to switch your vote because you think that somebody might get their feelings hurt.
Well, hey, I think a lot of votes go that way in the USA. You know what I mean? It's hairstyle. It's, how suave you are.
Well, we all know it's much better to look good than to feel good. Come on.
Yeah. And it's, how good a soothsayer you might be, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Profits.
Well, it'll be interesting to run. It'll be. I'm not running for anything as of yet, so I didn't say that. But it'll be interesting to see who is running, whether our incumbents are going to run for city council or not.
What didn't you say?
I said run, but I didn't imply anything by saying run.
No, you got to run to keep from hiding.
You got to run to keep from hiding.
That's right.
Okay. So
I like that song.
it'll be interesting to see whether our incumbents, Preet Didball, Sweet Life,
John Buckland.
yes, and then
Stinky.
Stan Cleveland, the sheetrock man, Stan the sheetrock man, will be running for city council again, or whether we'll have.
I can't stand sheetrockers.
Oh, it seems to be a going thing, huh? Anyways, so
I had a few ordeals with them this week.
Oh.
Yeah. I won't go into it. That's all I'm going to say.
the sheetrockers are out of my life. My building is finaled for all intents and purposes. I'm putting in a little bit of landscape. I'm gonna be doing something really interesting next week. If you guys want to come down, we're gonna be flying that trellis. So I'm gonna have that great big crane again, that great big mobile crane. It takes like 6 guys to operate it down there, and I've got to be out in the middle of the street, so we got to move it out, set it up before light rail comes, fly part of the trellis, back it up, park it, let light rail go by, run it back out there, because everybody who
I've done that.
everybody who rides light rail for free takes precedence over getting something done in life.
Yeah.
So a trellis is going to go on the side of the building?
On the side 8 floors up.
This is all steel?
Yeah, it's all steel, 8 by 8 by 1/4 inch thick steel. It's going to be.
Are you guys nailing it to the wall?
Yeah, we're doing 16 pennies, buddy.
There you go.
We're going to use a handful
Or
of them.
drywall screws?
Going to use a handful of them and get it up there. It'll be awesome.
So when does the trellis fly?
It looks like it should be this week, Thursday or Friday of this week, if I get okay from RT. But I got to get my. That's why I don't get permits on the weekend on my weekend work, because all week I'm running around getting permits to please let me do some work. Please let me make forward progress.
Well, I can understand that. So you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. So
You got to get most of your work done on the weekend.
that's exactly it. Get most of your work done on the weekend. And then you don't even got to get it inspected, because the inspectors can't work overtime on the weekend. Well, they won't work overtime on the weekend.
Yeah.
So it makes it good. So we've got that race coming up, and then we've got a couple of supervisor races. We got the Mike Ziegemeyer and Paul Bossy race, which neither one of those are incumbents, but I think Paul Bossy is the chosen one by the.
He's pretty much an incumbent in a way. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's part of the clan.
Entrenched.
Yeah, he's entrenched.
So I'm looking forward to getting Mike Ziegemeyer in there. That's what I think we should all try and do.
Yeah, I don't think the 2,000 votes going to change that.
No.
They're 4% apart?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I'm really hoping that the people who voted for Burt will get behind Mike Ziegemeyer, because they were pretty close in my mind anyways.
Yeah.
Of being kind of the same what would be supervisor, material.
Right.
I think they're both really wanting what's best for their community and their people in their community, not just to have the name, I'm a supervisor.
Yeah. And, Bossy, when I listen to him, he's so entrenched in the regionalism. He's already been baptized into their program, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He thinks that's the way to go.
Well, and he already took some river rights away, access to the river rights away. And then he also did that solar panel deal.
But he said it was for safety.
Yes, well, as long as it's for safety, then they should take all our rights away over
I was
safety.
going to say we're going to lose most of our rights for safety.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, they're going to try it.
Yeah.
Hey, they...
Yeah, you sit there and shut up now because you're safe.
What was it that Benjamin Franklin said?
Shoot him in the face. Oh, that wasn't it.
I think he said, if it's on the internet, it must be true.
It wasn't either one of those?
I think he said anybody who will trade safety for liberty,
security for liberty,
security for liberty,
deserves neither,
and will get neither.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes.
And I mean, that was said, 200 years ago? So maybe it's true.
And man's nature does not change. I mean, that was one of the tenets of all the founding fathers, that man is evil and his nature will not change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and then over in Yuba County, where we don't have a dog in the fight, so maybe Randy wants to take this one. Who do we got over here running for? Because I obviously can't even know because I don't have a dog in the fight.
Well, it's a real shame that we're not going to have Missler for District 5.
Not yet.
Well, not yet. I mean, I hope there's a recount if it stays this close. And let's see, Wendell's going to be our sheriff.
I think that was your best
Oh, absolutely.
bet anyway, so that
Maybe. I don't know.
maybe?
I don't know.
You still...
I just got a feeling he's going to be crying all the time about money, and I'm sick of that.
That really... yeah.
Get on your boots and make it happen, man. Work within your budget and quit.
Yeah, but he needs a little help with that, too.
All he has to do is call on the Yuba County Water Agency.
Yeah.
They'll buy,
Well,
they'll buy
maybe
him something.
Randy
Oh,
can
well,
help
did you
him.
hear the water agency loan the county? They loaned the county some money
at 1%. And then they turn around and patted each other on the back.
and put on their other coat. Then turned around and shook their own hand and said, "Thank you for loaning us the money."
Hey, you sure are nice guys.
You know,
You know what I want to do is I want to set on a bank committee. That way I can just loan myself loans and at 1% or whatever I want to loan myself loans to, because that's kind of what this is like. It sounds like to me.
well, how about I can get a little bit better than that? Why not be a member of Congress so you can give student loans to everybody, and then make sure that your kids are exempt from paying it back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the greatest program going.
Get insider information without
You don't even have
having
to think about paying it back. Forget the low interest, it's just free.
It's just free money.
Yeah.
Money does grow on trees.
Well,
Look at that.
certain areas.
Now, what
of
was the
country.
spread between Wright and Fletcher?
I don't know. Do you know?
Well, it's got to be the same as between. I'll go find out.
He's going to look it up right now. But we got to try and I don't have a dog in the fight. You've got to try and make sure that Alton Wright gets in there over Fletcher, which I can't believe I just said.
Yeah, I don't even know if I.
Don't jump the gun.
Yeah, I don't even know if I agree with that one.
I know.
rush into
Whatever I just said, it was like kicking myself in the nuts, man.
Did you bite your tongue?
You're
when
putting
you
a
said
lot of
that?
responsibility on Randy here. I'll tell you that.
That doesn't sound right. Here, let me mash my thumb with that hammer hanging around here.
Okay,
So
Randy's got.
If we tell you to do it, Randy, you better do it.
wow.
There's 700, less than 700 votes difference.
That isn't bad.
No, he's got 43%, almost 44%.
But at the same time, then, Mitzler is only behind by, 14, 13?
14 votes behind Alton Wright.
I think before this goes any further, that there needs to be a recount.
I knew I
Yes,
should have voted
yeah.
twice
You only voted once?
this time.
Well, Ting would have came and picked you up if you needed a ride. That's what he said. I'm just saying.
Now,
He said it.
Andy Vasquez is that same boat. He's got 43%. He's got closer to 43% than Randy does.
And then the shopping cart killing
The
and
shopping cart queen's got
pothole
32%.
lady is right behind him, right?
And David Joyce is at 24%. So there's not a lot of 262 votes separating them.
Separate new.
Joan and Andy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And David's got 370 to throw one way or the other.
Dave.
So
Wow.
there better be some sucking up out there in Yuba County.
Yeah, you know what's going to be interesting is that'll be really interesting to see that debate between Joan Saunders and
Andy.
Andy
Oh, yeah.
Vasquez.
Man, I can't wait to go to that.
I can't either.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think that would be a good one to try and get them both on the show at the same time.
Oh, good luck with that.
That would be awesome.
I think they should both be in here and you be on the board.
Oh no, we tried that. I got fired.
I don't think you ever got hired.
I
I don't think the final papers were ever signed.
I never did see a check out of it. That's for sure. No money. Speaking about checks being in the mail and things like that.
I'm still waiting.
Well, I sent out invitations. I'm having a party at my house on the 7th, so I sent invitations out to all our listeners and to everybody, and so they're coming. The only problem is there's going to be we got security because we sent out so many, so you've got to have your invitation whenever you show up. So, but it's in the mail, guys. Seriously. So just
And you got to bring your AR.
bring your invitation when you come, and you'll be able to get in the house. So it's going to be a good shindig. So that'll be a lot of fun. So it's in the mail.
And this is on the 4th of July, you
No,
said?
7th of July.
Oh, 7th. Okay.
I'm boycotting the 4th of July because it falls on a Wednesday, so I'm going to let it bypass and do it on the weekend.
I heard that
because-
was Independence Day.
Yes.
I was going to mention that to Pastor Dave last night. He called it 4th of July celebration. But
Yeah, no, that's Independence Day,
I like
think.
it, Independence Day a lot better.
Yeah. Well, independence is like a bad word, I think, anymore. Can't be independent. What's wrong with you?
Can't be one and be a Democrat.
It takes a village.
Yes. You got to be part of the crew.
You know, we skipped over one in Sutter County.
What did we skip over in Sutter County?
Superintendent of schools.
Oh, that's right. You met with those folks this week.
Yes.
We had I got wrapped up into something else that night
Larry was there
on Friday night.
Yeah. We talked to Tom Russer and apparently Joe Hendricks has thrown his votes to Tom Russer and
So Joe Hendricks is going to support Russer
yes,
then. Okay.
Did he happen to say why? Or
Well,
I mean,
Tom Russer assured me that he's going to put that ROP money back where it belongs. It's missing right now under Ball.
How much is it?
Larry can probably tell you, but I think he said $4.7 million.
How much is the ROP money that's missing? How much?
okay, he's
Okay.
working with Larry on that. And I don't
He doesn't know exactly how much, but he said all of it is missing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's missing in action.
Gone into business instead of.
Wow. So it's all
been
been diverted out of the working, out of any kind of working.
right.
But
Wow.
I'm surprised Larry doesn't know that.
I am too.
Okay. But he does know radio.
Yes.
Okay. And he can get your radio tuned so well that you can hear a fly walking on an orange peel.
He did tell us that once, didn't he? Well, that's why he's out here looking at the towers today
There
and
you
trying to
go.
figure something out.
So
We're gonna-
you got a good radio man when he can get all that static.
Well,
out.
we got people in Idaho who want to hear us. We got people all over that want to hear us. And didn't you say New Mexico?
Yep.
There, Randy. So we got to get
We
this
need
thing
that.
firing out.
We need a gigawatt, man.
We need a gigawatt.
Yeah.
I go in there.
So, anyways, well, like I
you
say,
can-
we're gonna have to have a flux capacitor for a gigawatt.
Now
but
they
if
can
we
hear
just
they can hear us in Gridley according
if
to
we
Lou.
just hire, if we just get that other thing, the directional
Yeah.
Dubafici.
And in
We'll
Grass
be
Valley,
fine.
I mean, I'm in Grass Valley a lot, and I'm able to tune in real well up
Well,
there.
and I can hear it up in Butte County, up at my property, up above the lake. So I mean, it gets out there, but I think you got to have some elevation.
And I was in Calusa Friday or Thursday evening, and I could hear it fine.
So as long as you're in this bowl area, you're good.
You
Well,
can't
I
hear it in
can't-
Roseville.
Can't hear it in Roseville?
But you can't hear it over at the Peachtree Mall.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's too much of a bowl area.
The waves
I
won't go
think
through all
maybe
that
it's
smoke.
way below sea level or something over there.
Well,
Yeah.
I think, Randy, I think it's that rate. I think it bounces off the pot smoke. The signal bounces off the pot smoke, so it misses that area.
And all those grocery carts are deflecting.
It's a conspiracy.
Yes. I think it is a combination of both.
The
But
shopping
I think
cart
the shopping
conspiracy.
cart.
Well,
really
we need to fill
deflecting
everybody
the
in on the
signal.
shopping cart in case they just tuned in late over the last few shows. Because Joan Saunders, we have her saying at a forum that she was at that, one of her big things she was running on was all the dangerous shopping carts that could possibly kill people out and about in the area. So she said that, and then there's also monster potholes that can flip a car, and we need to start carrying, they need to fill them with sand or whatever they do to smooth over those potholes.
Be careful.
So that's where that's coming from with the
I
killer shopping
I
carts.
haven't hit one of those potholes, but I did hit a ridge.
Well, there's another one coming
Almost
up.
threw my wife off the back of the scooter.
And you're talking about the one there at Highway 20
Yes.
and 99.
Yes.
There's two of them there.
Keeps growing.
Well, and there's
I think-
another one now. If you're going 20 just off that 99, there's another one that grew up there that I hit today on my way over here and just about jarred my upper molars out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I'm hoping that somebody will, get out there with a grinder, or maybe we'll just have to go out there and, take it out with a sledgehammer. Or something.
Middle of the night, get out
Yeah.
there with our own grinding wheel and just grind it down flat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's coming to because obviously the gas tax isn't going to fix our roads.
We're
Those
looking
little
for someone to
grinders?
come to
No.
volunteer
I
a
think
grinder.
we'd go a little bit bigger grinder than that.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, Sparky was telling us how the gas tax is fixing the roads here
Yeah.
in Yuba County. Mike
Oh.
Leahy, he tweeted it out. I think there's 4 or 5 going to get fixed, and none of them down here off Feather River. They're all up in the foothills. So it must be really bad up there.
Yuba County?
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they had a bad accident on the way down to the station today on Marysville Road, so I had to cut across on Spring Valley Road.
See,
It's
and
about a mile and a half an hour is all you want to go on that.
and I always want to go fishing the day of the show. And I always think, man, if there's an accident or something, I won't make it back in time for the show. And if I get up there at 4 or 5 in the morning, I want to fish my 5 hours. So if I leave at 10 in the morning, then I don't make it to the show because I was in 2 hours of traffic. So I never go fishing on Sundays anymore. So can't wait until November whenever our show's over and I can go fishing on Sundays again.
Well, there's lots of little ways to get around that traffic.
I know, but I don't know all the little ways, so I'd go the stupid way, try to go right through the
He
middle
just
of it.
goes right through the middle,
Yeah.
honking his horn.
Well, you know,
Wow, I bet that blew some people out of cab.
you know what? As a kid, whenever I played football, I was the lineman. So yeah, I believe the middle's the way to go. Just push hard.
Just go.
Just go. Hammer down. So, what else do we got over here? We got both of the super county. So,
What I want to know is
Superintendent.
when all the people get through leaving and going to other states, how are they going to pay all these exorbitant salaries?
I talked to a guy yesterday, and he told me his parents are leaving for Idaho, and his in-laws are leaving for Idaho. Now, that's just my small world, but I'm hearing that time and time again. And also, I was on the way back from Sacramento the other day listening to a man on KFBK, and he was way I understood, he has 3,000 acres in Elk Grove area, and because of regulation, he has some ponds and some lakes on his property, and he was saying that he used to have to monitor all the influx and outgo and detail everything for his ponds. Okay?
Wetlands. Yeah.
Yep.
And
The great
he had
scam.
to send a report like once a month. Now he says it is to the point where they have almost hour by hour. He said he had his 8,000 reports per month.
Well, control once a month just isn't enough anymore,
Yeah.
Tom. It's almost got to be hour by hour
Yeah.
just to make sure you're not absconding with some of that water.
Anyway, he was fed up. He was a cattle rancher, and he said that the cows or the beef that he raises is really sought after in the high end restaurants.
Yeah.
And also, they had a clay mine, and he sells some clay to Gladys McBean out of Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they won't shut the mine down in fear that they would never get it reopened again.
Yeah.
well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Gladding McBean has been in operation for an awfully long time.
Yeah, but he sells clay to Gladys McBean, I believe. That's the way I understood it. So that's just a good little example of the people I heard fleeing California this last week.
Well, I read a poll where that 59%, a little over 59% are against the gas tax, and that just over 50%, 50.3 or 50.6% were either thinking about moving or going to move out of California.
Wow.
Me, I'm staying for now.
I'm staying too.
Yeah.
I'll leave when Tom leaves.
Okay.
Because if Tom's leaving, he's given up a lot, and if he's made up his mind to go, then I'll probably follow suit at that point, because I don't have as much to lose. I mean, just the way I look at it is I don't have as much to lose as Tom, and if it's bad enough for him to go, then that's kind of my key. That okay, I'm packing.
Hey, and that is repeated amongst the population. So many people have invested their livelihood in California, and they have all their eggs in that basket. You know what I mean? So it's not a light thing to pick up and leave California.
No, it's not.
It's a heavy thing.
And for me, it's a heavy thing. I mean, I've got my property that we just started developing. I mean, I built some of the biggest buildings around in Sacramento. I've got my roots are here, man. I mean, I grew up in this area. This is my stomping grounds. Yeah. And I like being, 2.5 hours away from, 2.5 hours away from the coast as most people drive, 2 hours away from Reno. Yeah. I like to gamble a little bit. I like to play craps, which is the only thing you can do in Reno that you can't do here, but I'm sorry, but that's my game. And so, you're 2 hours from the mountains if you want to go jeeping. We're about 2 hours away from everything.
From
I know
everything, yeah.
Yuba City isn't the most sought-after place to live, but you know what? It's kind of nice being just 2 hours away from everything that you want to do. Any kind of sports that you want to do, hunting, fishing, whatever you want to do, you're 2 hours away from it and you're good to go.
And we're 1 hour away from the most corrupt political state house in the country, right?
Hey, I'll tell you what. Yeah. It's not many places that you can live in the United States and drive 30 minutes and feel like you're in a communist country and then come back and feel like you're in a pretty much free country.
Yes.
I mean, it's literally that much difference between here and Sacramento, 35 minutes down the road from my house.
And you're in there every day, so you got experience.
Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you what, it's crazy at how different it is 35 minutes down the road. It's nuts.
And I talked to a lady this morning at Dairy Queen, not this morning, but before lunch. And she just moved back from Natomas, and a complete stranger, but she made a conversation with us, and she said, it's so good to be back in Marysville, Yuba City, because she said the atmosphere down there is totally different, hard to communicate with people. That's what she was saying. Nowhere near as friendly, I should say.
And it's amazing. And like I say, you wouldn't believe it unless you're down there every day, that 35 minutes down the road that it can be that much different. But I'm serious, just take a ride down there 5 days a week for a week and try it and see. It's amazing at the difference in even just mentality between the people.
You just got to stay up past 10 o'clock at night and get out on the streets here.
I guess so. Well, they're out all day.
They're out in the daytime.
We got all kinds of microcosms going on.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So Tammy just texted in. She's going to be back on the show next week, but she texted in today and said that the one-day Constitution seminar is called Truth of America's Founding and will be August 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Church of Glad Tidings. So that's where we're going to see all the city.
And it's the 25th?
Repeat that,
August
please.
25th.
Oh, okay.
From 9 to 3 p.m. at the Church of Glad Tidings.
Okay, I think I told Tom Russer that it was on the 28th. So
okay,
that's open to the
25th.
public.
It's open to the public. Let me finish reading this.
No, go ahead.
So the seminar is free to attend and will sponsor the optional student manuals for any candidate who wants to attend. So there is some curriculum that you can buy if you want to, but if you just want to show up and listen to the seminar, you can do that. Just show up and listen. You're great.
Now I got a question.
No money.
Have you applied for a permit to teach the Constitution class? I just want to make sure we're 100% legal.
I don't think so. I don't think anywhere it says in the Constitution that you have to apply for one. And
you haven't checked out the California Constitution.
Yeah, well, this is very true.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
So, if any candidates are running for city council or listening, I just want to throw that out there that if you do show up for the class, not only are we going to sponsor all the materials for the class, the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight is going to do that, but we're also going to give you a 60-second radio ad for your campaign, for the duration of your campaign. You can come out here, we can record it, so it'll be a good sounding actual real radio ad, and we'll play that for you at least once a week out here on the radio show. And then we'll also go ahead and have you into the radio show so you can talk to us. Now, just be forewarned if you come to the radio show, and I'll let Tom take this, but the fact is they're not softball questions, are they, Tom? We don't pull any punches out here.
No. We expect you to be up to snuff on your game a little bit. You know what I mean? You want to serve the people. We expect you to be knowing what the criteria is, to be a public servant.
Exactly. Yeah. But we're not going to tie you up and beat on you either. But, no. I mean, you're going to be asked some hard questions. I mean, it won't be just softball questions that you get to field before the radio show comes live. So it will be live questions. But we will ask you out to the radio show. So it'll be
Now,
pretty good for your campaign.
We've had a few survivors, right?
Yes,
They're still alive and kicking.
Everybody limps out of here. I mean, some of them walk straight up too. I mean, but there's a few of them that are limping whenever they walk away. And the one thing about it that you can bet is if you show up to the Constitution class and you spend the time there and we do the radio ad with you, you're in our good graces. I mean, really, you are. We're gonna be a little bit more friendly to you because it shows us a whole bunch of things. One, that you want to learn the Constitution. Two, that you're capable of showing that you don't know everything already. And so it gives you a lot of weight with us, I think, out here. I'll let the guys speak for themselves, but it gives you a lot of weight with me because it shows that you want to learn and that, you know what, that you don't think you know it all and I don't need the Constitution. Well, you're going to swear an oath to defend it as a councilman, so we want to know that you know just a little bit about it.
I'm still going to be watching it like a hawk.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that, at least it's a start.
That's right.
And what's
it's a
nice
good
is,
start.
And what's nice is let me finish this up from her. So that was the Constitution class. It's called Truth of America's Founding, August 25th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's open to everybody. Anybody can show up, come on in, take the class, get the lecture, at least learn a little bit about the Constitution. And then Tammy's 12-week Constitution course will begin September 19th. She'll be finishing up the one she's on right now here shortly. She had to take a couple weeks off, but she'll be starting that back up, I think, next week. You guys will have to check with her. But then the new one will start September 19th, Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. out at the Church of Glad Tidings. And so the Constitution class that she'll be teaching out at Glad Tidings for the candidates is the 25th. And she texted in and said that the final papers, the deadline for pulling the papers for city council race is August 10th. So if you're going to run, you'll know by August 10th whether you're going to run or not, which it looks like to me most people would know whether they're going to run or not by now. But I honestly can't tell you, so maybe not. But so get signed up for the class, and let's get you going to that. We got two that are going to go now. The one I have a hard time remembering his name, David Shaw, and then the other one is the fireman.
Mark Baumgartner.
Yes. Yeah. So two are signed up, basically signed up already or have given their verbal that they're going to go. So it'll be interesting to see who else gets on board with that.
Grace,
and then this other guy, what is his name?
Grace Espandola and Tracy Brookman.
No, Stacy.
Stacy Brookman.
Brookman.
Tracy.
How many different offices is Grace running for?
I think she can only run for one at a time. Otherwise, she'd be running for supervisor and.
Okay. I just wondered. I mean, because I see her name popping up everywhere. I was thinking maybe she's running for multiple offices.
No, just one office.
Okay.
But, it'll be interesting to see if Preet Didball runs again, because I heard she wants Dirty Wit's job, is what I've heard through the grapevine.
Somebody should want it.
Looking out for that job.
Yes.
That Dirty Wit's going to be removed from, or whatever's going to happen there. We don't know that he's going to be removed, I guess, but a lot of indication says that he might, maybe.
Yeah. So we're wouldn't it be nice to see the tide turn a little bit in the USA instead of this constant decline and the move toward regionalism and total control? I
think we have seen a little bit. I mean, with Trump, at least the one thing that I've seen with Trump is a lot more people are working. Yeah. I'll bet you the people who manufacture work boots, I'll bet they've hired a lot of people.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We've seen it, the tide turn a little here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely
with
have.
A major amount of resistance. Isn't that amazing?
What I find interesting is everywhere I go, you see more teenagers working. And you see help wanted signs everywhere.
Yeah.
Finding people that want to work is a big job. Man.
Well, if you're a teenager right now and you say you can't find a job, you ain't
don't want
looking.
A job.
Because I'm telling you what, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, you name it, Home Depot, Walmart, you name it, buddy. Everybody's got a help wanted sign. The auto parts store, I went in there to get some oil the other day. I mean, everybody is hiring.
Yep.
So
I offered a job to a young man, teenager, this last week, and he said, "No, I want to hang out with my friends all summer." But hey,
tell you what,
there's you got to give a little leeway in there, because you ain't going to get up. Be able to do that for the rest of your life. I mean, you're going to soon be in the workforce if you're got any kind of a work ethic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and you know what?
This kid was only 14 though.
Well, but I mean, and at the same time, at least you got to give him kudos that said, you know what, I just want to hang out with my friends.
Yes.
At least he came right out and said it,
Yes.
rather than giving you some BS line.
Yeah.
Well, our 18-year-old leaves for the Navy tonight. We get to see her off. And our 16-year-old is working full-time at Collins Lake.
Ooh.
She's got a rough job working in there scooping ice cream, but she said her right arm is bulking up.
Is that right? So you're gonna you have to switch off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
The
for all
switch
you
hitter.
kids out there, if you can walk around and look at a cell phone all day, you can work at Home Depot.
Yes, you can. That's no joke. That's no kidding right there. I asked a kid for, I was pulling electrical this weekend, so I needed a fish tape. We all know what a fish tape is, right?
Yeah, when you catch a fish, you wrap it up in tape, right?
Well, you should have seen the look on this guy's
Oh, I
face.
can imagine. It's
So I'm in the electrical department. I could not find a fish tape.
Is this a tape that you use to bandage up a damaged fish?
Okay, hang on. Let me explain a fish tape. Whenever you run all your conduit and you didn't blow your line in because you didn't have a vacuum to pull your line in with, you run a fish tape in there. It's a metal little wire, got some resistance to it, and you spin it off this spool and you run it down there. It's got a little quirl at the end.
Yeah.
You hook your wire in it, you pull your wire back. Fish tape. No big deal. You just reel it up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like fishing because you reel it up and pulls your wire back. So I went to the electrical thinking that it would be in the electrical section, right? Because that's where fish tape's going to be.
Well, you would think so.
So I went there, didn't find one. My kid is on his phone. He goes, "What's a fish tape?" So he looks at that and finds a fish tape on his phone. He's like, "Oh, okay. They're $99. I got them here. I just don't know where they are." So we walk up to the Home Depot guy, and he says, "A fish tape? What do you mean a fish tape?" And he's looking at me all cross-eyed, and my kid is looking at me like, "Wow." So, yeah.
he said,
So
he
where
didn't know what
was it,
fish
in the
tape
garden
was.
department?
No. So let me finish. He says, I said, the wire that you fish to get your wire pulled back in. Oh, yeah, I just wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. I know what a fish tape is. Yeah, I said it's down there in electrical. And I'm going, no, it's not. And he's going, yeah, it is. I'll show you. So we go down there. Guess what? No fish tape.
No fish tape.
So, but the fact is, yeah, my kid can think to look on his phone and figure out what something is faster than the Home Depot guy. But
So
Don't want him to
did
work
you
there.
ever get a fish tape? That's what we want to know.
no, negative. I ended up doing it the old-fashioned way. Got me some string, sucked it up with the shop back, and pulled her on through.
The Okie-fied fish tape.
Roger that.
So hey, Ricky texted in from Idaho.
Okay, our
He's
Idaho
he-
listener.
He's listening. Yeah, he says, "Let Jason know that I'm 20 yards from hunting and 840 yards from fishing, and enjoy listening." And you know how big Ricky is.
Yeah.
So one of his steps is a yard. Even.
Exactly.
So he's got it down to 20 steps away for hunting, and 840 steps away for fishing.
If you're 20 steps away from hunting, I think I could push that to where you could just shoot out the window
There you go.
of your house.
Thanks, Rick.
Just squeeze the trigger a little harder. It'll make it over there. All right, well, we got to take a break, so we'll be right back in 2.5. All right, we're back.
Little Charlie Daniels, huh? Good
Yeah.
American patriot.
Yes, he is. And, to hear him talk, he believes what he sings. I mean, he
Oh,
really
boy.
does. I really admire that guy.
And just like he said in that song, the people put their Bibles away. You
Living
know?
by the law of the jungle, not the law of the land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is we can follow the Constitution and we can try to do this and try to do that, but unless America has a little turnaround spiritually and repents of some of their wickedness, we're not going to see. We're going to continue down this dire straits.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but you know what? I believe that we have a true Christian heart in the White House right now.
Yeah.
I really do. Okay. And I think that's what I think.
You know, I wasn't sure about that when he first got elected,
I didn't either.
but I think it has
He's changed.
developed into that.
Yeah. That may be very true. I mean, you may be seeing God working right
Absolutely.
there, right now.
Well, there's no doubt God's working because he declares in the Bible that he puts these people in office.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
So he gave us Obama.
Yep.
Talking about putting people in office, I was sitting here reading a little thing. Maxine Waters went to a toy drive and was getting up and made a little speech about encouraging people to go wherever Trump's appointees or whatever are eating and harass them until they leave the restaurant. Can you imagine?
Well, that's the Christian thing to do, isn't it?
Well,
she says God is on their side,
right.
the Democrats.
Yeah.
Well, what I want to know then is what does the restaurant owner think of that? Let's get his opinion.
Look, we're talking about God. I'm going to give a shout out for GT, Glad Tidings of 4th of July. They're going to have, it's a Wednesday, from noon to 4. On the 4th, they're going to barbecue hamburgers, hot dogs, and have some watermelons, games, water slide, bounce house, zip line, volleyball, and it's out on the big lawn in the front. And,
awesome.
Yeah, so.
What day was that, Bill?
That would be on the 4th of July.
Independence Day.
Independence Day. That's right.
Now, this is out of our outline for our sermon this morning. And this is in Jeremiah chapter 2, I believe, and verse 34 and 35. And it says, I have found the blood of the innocent people on your clothing, and yet you still claim to be not guilty. See? He's talking about how God is dealing with the nation. So we have a lot of innocent blood here in the USA, and the people, seem to claim that they're not guilty. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So there needs to be some. You can't just talk about it.
There will be a reckoning.
There needs to be some turnaround in the nation.
Yes.
Yeah. And without that turnaround and without the repenting, which means to turn from and to change your way, then we're still on a crash course. So
This country was created for a moral and religious people.
yeah.
And that's the only thing that'll save it.
Hey, and I believe that's how our Constitution is written.
Yeah.
And it's wholly inadequate for any other.
Yes.
So if you don't have some morals and you don't believe in God, it's not going to work for you. It's just not. There has to be some basis there for it.
Yeah. Well, you'll see your family disintegrate as a microcosm, right?
Yeah.
That's just a little microcosm of what happens in the nation. So unless there is a good, clean operation going on in your family, there's going to be disintegration.
Well, and that's like I was talking to Bill when we first got here today. Because, I'm going to be doing a new project, and we were talking about that project, how it's taking place and everything. And I got asked to do a job in between a job. And it was a good-hearted person that did it, and it was up on the up and up. But, they were like, well, can you just come do this real quick and, get this other building underway for me and go do that, and then whenever your new job starts, you can go back to your other job. And I said, well, what if something comes up or anything else? And the whole moral of the story is I'm just going to get to the moral of it is I don't operate that way. I have the only thing I really have in this world is my name, and I can't destroy that by going and taking another job, even if the money's good, for a little while, and saying that I'm going to do it and then trying to bounce back. What if that other job isn't finished? I can't morally leave that job in the middle of it.
Right. And you have, when you're transitioning into another job, it's not a pure vacation.
No.
No. So there's a lot of forethought that has to go into it.
Well, that's I tell everybody that I'm going to be on vacation for about 3 months because the other job isn't firing up. Well, pulling permits, that doesn't take a whole day, but it is something that has to happen. You got to make sure the ducks are in a row. You got to understand the plans. There's a lot to it, and you really can't take another job in the middle of that.
Right.
So it's just one of those things. If I wouldn't do it, even though there was money to be made, you just don't go and do something like that. And that's what I mean. Whenever I was growing up, whenever my dad shook a hand of another man, it was going to happen. Whatever he said was going to happen, whether he made money, lost money, didn't matter. If he lost money, he says, you know what? You just don't ever do that again for that price.
You know better.
But you finish it.
You betcha.
And that's the way I feel. I think if we had a lot more of that in this world we live in today, we'd be in a much better place. Whenever a man looks you in the eye and shakes your hand, you get it done, regardless of what happens.
Now, remember our political prisoner, Francis Schaefer Cox.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he's in prison for 26 years for he was framed by the FBI. Okay, under the Obama administration. And if you ever get a chance to listen to some of his speeches online, one of them he talked about, he said, one of the points he says, the whole duty of the citizen is to do everything that you said you were going to do. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if he has a contract, he said, do everything that you said you were going to do. And he really beat that point home. And I don't do it justice because you don't have the whole context of the speech.
Yeah.
But that's a fact. You have to follow through to completion.
Yeah.
And do what you said you're going to do.
Well, and
that's called integrity.
Exactly. And it's kind of like this radio show out here. We promised the candidates who were running that we were going to be at the forums and that, good, bad, or indifferent, what they said would be repeated and it would be played. And we did that. Mm-hmm. And I honestly think it changed some of the election. I really believe in my heart that some of the elections got changed for what we were doing out here. Right. And we're going to continue that on through November. And I think it makes a difference. I think we're making a difference. And we promised we'd try and make a difference, and we're getting it out there to the people. And
we also made a commitment amongst ourselves to, if we were going to do this, to be here.
Exactly.
Right? So we can't just say, oh, well, where's Randy or where's Bill, Randy's
on the phone.
He didn't. Yeah. He didn't show up, Or
exactly.
We don't know.
Well,
because we know that come 1 o'clock on Sunday or a little before 1, that each one of us is going to be here to do what we said we were going to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, and for me, I'm already looking for the end because, man, it's starting to burn up a lot of Sundays. I mean, I enjoy doing it, and it's a good time. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy this. It is a lot of fun. But the whole thing is there's a lot of other fun things that wouldn't rather be doing, but could be doing on a Sunday.
Now, speaking of November, are we still planning to do that aerial turkey drop?
Yes. Yes. I saw that on a news show
where
one time.
These turkeys can flutter on down into the neighborhoods.
Yeah. They're frozen turkeys, right?
No, they're going to be live turkeys. We're going to throw them at a helicopter.
I got to go, guys.
What?
I have to go. That was just a message. We have the main well line to the house just busted, and we have a geyser. And
boy! And then you send off somebody to the Navy tonight.
Yeah, and then I got to go cap that off real quick, and then head to Sacramento.
It rains, it pours, huh, Randy?
That's always the way it goes.
We can handle it.
Yeah. Well, look, I just looked at the temperature's only 106 out. So,
and you'll be working in the water.
Yeah.
And it's PVC probably, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Got too brittle over time.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when horses bump it.
How big of a line is it?
That's 1.5 inches.
Oh, that ought to be fun.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you got a shut off for it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then it's no big deal.
You got it.
He's going to stick his thumb in there.
It's going to be an easy fix then.
Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Till next week.
And congratulations to your daughter.
Yes, please give her our best wishes.
Going into the Navy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, tonight's gonna be a hard night for Mom.
It'll be a lot of water.
I think it's going to be a hard
water,
night for Dad, too, but okay.
All right, guys.
All right, see you in a little
Yeah.
bit, Randy.
God
Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Drive safe.
All right, so now we're down to just 3 of us. Man, we're dropping like flies out here.
Man.
Tammy's not ever coming back, apparently. We lost Randy. Now Randy already took off his headphones, so he can't hear, so he's wondering what's going on.
Yeah, he thinks we were talking about him.
That's too funny. I'll shut his mic down then. There we go. That ought to quiet it up a little bit in there.
Hey, so we're on announcements, upcoming events. The Yuba Sutter Constitutional Republicans, of which I and you and I think we're all members, are having a meeting at the Sutter Room at the City Council, Yuba City City Council. Not in the chambers; it's across the foyer from the chamber.
Yeah.
And because didn't want to act all imperial sitting up there in front of the peons and the peasants.
Yeah, well, and the whole thing is that I think Tammy's thinking was you're absolutely right. You don't want to start out where you're all equal and want to do something and try and get people elected and start out with people at the head of the table trying to tell you who to elect. I mean, that doesn't work.
So we're going to have Eric Eisenheimer out there.
Good guy.
And it's going to be 6:30 till probably 8:30 or so. And Eric is he's the director of grassroots operations for Howard Driver's Taxpayer. He also owns a business that does digital communications, and he's been working in behalf of John Cox to help get him through the primaries. And he's lately been working in Nevada on a senatorial race over there, and he'll have a lot of good things to tell us, and upcoming what he believes is going to happen, and things we can do to ensure that Gavin Newsom does not get elected, because Gavin Newsom is not our friend.
No.
He is not a friend of liberty. He is not a friend of...
He's a totalitarian.
He is a tyrannical...
Yeah.
fill
He's
in
a
the blank.
soothsayer.
He's a soothsayer, all right.
Yeah.
Smooth-talking alcoholic politician.
Well, then he ought to
That's been
fit right
married
in
4
Sacramento.
times. Yeah, well, he does.
Fit right in down there.
There's some...
So, Eric Eisenheimer. That's quite the name.
yeah.
Uh,
That's Thursday, this coming Thursday, the 28th, 6:30.
Okay. That'll be good. That'll be interesting to see how that turns out, what kind of turnout that is there.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be going, so yeah.
Also, James Gallagher endorsed, although you can't find it anywhere, it's not on his Facebook page, but he did do it in a tweet. He says he's backing John Cox.
Well, as it should be.
As
Yes.
he should have, yes, I know. He
I don't think.
apparently felt some loyalty to Travis Allen, but
Well, that's
you
fine.
can see where Travis Allen's brash and upstart and in-your-face strategy took him to all the way to 5th place.
Wow.
Man, let that be a lesson to us, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to get elected in California, it's not going to be that way.
Yeah. Because we're pretty brash sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I tend to be a little rough around the edges every once in a
And
while.
speaking of Travis Allen, now he's sort of got into hiding mode. Nobody's had a tweet from him. He did on the 7th. He thanked his supporters on his Facebook page, and that's the last anybody's heard of him. I've called his both lines to his office, his regional office down south, and the one here in Sacramento, and got greeted with voicemail boxes. He's not come out in support of John Cox, and even Hillary called and congratulated Trump the next day. She had the stones to do that.
Yeah.
I would imagine that Travis should step on up and be a man
You would think.
and bring the Republicans together.
Yeah. Well,
What's
probably
left
gonna
of
happen,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I almost forgot something. We have some new leadership over at the city. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
Do I know something that you guys don't know?
You do.
It could be.
Holy smokes! This is how this feels. I kind of like this.
You're elite.
So Darren Gale is now the assistant city administrator, is what my little birdie told me. I have not checked on it to confirm, but it comes from a pretty good source that, yeah, he is the assistant city administrator now. So, wow. So I guess.
Why do we need an assistant city administrator?
Well, what I want to know is after you show that you're a fascist, then you get promoted in the city? That's kind of scary. Anyways, just a little food for thought there that he was the, I forget what he was the community development director for a little bit. Then he went into something else about recruiting businesses to come here. What was the name of that? Do you remember the name of that position that he held?
I don't know.
I think it was called a created position.
Yeah, created position in waiting.
Is that like pretended legislation?
But anyways, he is apparently the assistant city administrator now, right under Jeff. Oh, hang on, I just got a text. I'll bet it's going to tell me what position he had. What do you want to make a bet
Hey,
here?
well, while you're looking at that text, I got an announcement to make for the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight.
Oh, assistant city manager. I'm sorry, not
okay.
administrator. Assistant city manager is his job title now.
Wow. I bet he got a raise pay.
Oh, I bet he did too. Well, yeah, it's usually the way it goes. He was the economic development director.
Yes, that's it.
And the public relations manager. So he had two titles. Now they condensed it. Now he's just the assistant city manager. Because, Steve Krager needed an assistant.
Well, did they do away with those other two positions?
Probably not. Well, they probably did if they were make-believe.
So I'm sure they'll resurrect them.
Somebody will get them. Somebody will move up. Maybe Arnaldo's going to get a promotion.
You know how much our legislatures get a year?
I have no idea. More than the governor?
No. They're only $107,000. They work on a meager $107,000 a year.
Well, then I can make that last for 4 years.
Then
I can too.
Then what I want to know is if they work on that amount of money. Now, what's that state?
That's state, yeah. It's assemblyman.
Okay. If they work on that amount of money, how are they doing all the things they're doing, and why does it seem like all of them retire with way more?
Well, because they get $183 a day per diem, tax-free, by the way, to cover expenses for each day they're in session in Sacramento.
$183 a day?
So they like to stay in session a lot, that way.
$183 a day?
Yeah.
Wow, on top of their $107,000.
I can live for 2 weeks on that.
And that's on top of their $107,000.
Oh, yeah, that's on top.
Okay.
And it's tax-free, so it's more like, $250 or $275.
Sounds like they take advantage of a nice little loophole there, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whenever you're, I don't know if that would be more than, I don't know how much you're in session, but if it's equal to or more than your pay, then yeah, that's kind of one of those things.
So I got a spotlight announcement to make. I'm looking here on Facebook. It says, posts from Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight reached 3.6 thousand people. This is in the last month, or last week, I'm sorry.
In the last week, we reached 3,600 people on our Facebook page?
Yeah, no. Well, it's reached 3.6 thousand people for the last week.
So 3,600?
Yeah.
In the last week.
Yeah.
Well, that's doing pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
That's a pretty good reach for a little us.
I think old Bill might have been trying to inflate that a little bit by saying 3.6 thousand.
Well, yeah, I think so. That's why I wanted to just get it down to 3,600.
Carpenter types, we call that 3,600.
Well, I wanted
measure twice.
I wanted to clarify for all my
people in Palermo,
all my peeps in Palermo over there, because they'd have been like 36,000 people. Dang! But no, it's only 3,600 there, folks. And like Lou always says, the people out in Lindall and Olivehurst, you got to explain for them, put it in simple terms. They've probably seen a $3,600 check before, but they haven't seen a $3.6 thousand check before.
Probably once a month, man.
What's that?
I said probably once a month, huh? If you got enough kids.
If you got enough kids.
Yeah. 3,600. Yeah.
Do you think they get up before the mailman or after? Do you think they get their mail? Does their mail come after they're awake or before they're awake?
I think it only matters on the first of the month.
That's what I was kind of getting at there, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. See, we're all a little thick-skinned out here and a little rough around the edges. Our political correctness isn't quite correct.
Darn it.
That's a fact.
So, well, it's going to be interesting to see the city council race with that many people. I'm really hoping there are that many people in it because that ought to keep it interesting. I mean, right now we know for sure there's 4. And then there's 3 seats and 3 incumbents. So that'd be 7 for 3 seats. But I think we'll see more. I think we're a few people that I see, I think, are positioning themselves that,
I think we're just getting wound up.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. And I got a funny story. I ran into somebody in Home Depot. I'm not going to say who, but I ran into somebody in Home Depot, and I was checking out. So whenever you're checking out,
You're busy.
You're scanning your items because they don't have lanes open anymore if you just got a handful of
so
stuff.
do it yourself.
Yeah. And you don't want to, well, I guess DIY.
Yeah.
So I was checking out, and I was in the self-service lane because...
Did you say DIY? Do yourself in?
Do yourself in.
Or DIY?
DIY, I guess is what I meant. I don't know. I'm not much of a do-it-yourselfer, as you can tell.
Yes, right.
So, anyways, I was there, and I've been asked to be an alternate on the Republican Central Committee in Sutter County, because those guys love me so much over there that they asked me to be an alternate again. And
I thought you were going to say an altar boy.
No, just an alternate. And I was like, well, you sure you want to do that? And they're like, oh yeah. Come on, do it. So I said, okay, fine. I'm game. I like to go where I'm loved. It's always a good time.
Yes.
Speaking of thick skin.
Yeah, so I went ahead and said, okay. And that was all that was said of it. And now I got to go to a meeting here pretty soon. But that was it. I got a phone call one day. They said, okay, you're in. Here you go. Give us all your information. Give us your name, address, all that good stuff. You're in. I thought nothing of it. Times went by. No big deal. So I ran into this person at Home Depot. She goes, I heard you're on the Republican Central Committee again. I'm like, where'd you hear that? She goes, oh, it doesn't matter. What are you doing? She says, Curtis Green is there, right? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. My buddy Curtis. I'm going to get to be on the Republican Central Committee.
Coming to take you away.
So
To the funny farm.
As it went on, there's rumor that I'm running for city council. There's rumors that I'm back on the Republican Central Committee, which ended up not being a rumor. I am an alternate, I guess. I don't even really know. I
You are.
did all the stuff. So, anyways, I guess I am.
That's the rumor.
But it's funny at how the rumors fly around such a little town that people, being on the Republican Central Committee as an alternate does me no good either way. It's like, okay, I'll do it. So,
Yeah.
but the whole thing is the way it's assumed then that you must be running for city council, that you must be doing it to hurt somebody's feelings, and you must be just trying to scare people. No, none of the above. It's just that I said I'd do it because I was helping out a buddy.
Yeah. So you're going to do it for this great political influence that you're going to have for the committee that does next to nothing.
Exactly. But what's interesting is how it sounds like everybody's running afraid. It's like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know, just saying yes to a question of, could you be my alternate? Could cause so many ways. I guess it's one of those little things you touch the pendulum here and it moves way over there.
That pebble in the water thing.
The whole ripple effect deal. But it was pretty interesting to be kind of just verbally berated, about what are you doing? Why are you doing that? How come? What for? How come? Why? But it's good to know that we're making an impact, I guess.
Yes, stirring up a little ruckus.
So it's the bottom of the hour. We should announce that you're listening to the Patriot 1410 KMYC 104.3 FM.
And also, I'd like to give a shout out to One Eye Blind Media Chris Starkey always gives us an upload and gets us going on YouTube and mentions us in a lot of his Facebook lives and everything. You know, he's been wanting to come out here and get on the radio with us for a while. I think we're going to have to invite him. Today would have been a great day, but I keep thinking, you know, every day that Tammy's going to be back, and I want to get her back on the show, and then every time something comes up. So one of these days we'll get him out here and get him on the air with us because he'd like that, and I think it'd be a good opportunity to have him sling some of his Facebook stuff out there, too. I know he's going to be doing the candidate forums again once they get kicked off, and also going to be doing some of the Facebook Live stuff at the other functions around.
Is he blind in one eye?
No, he's not.
Yes,
No?
he is.
Oh, he is? Really?
Is he?
Oh, I
And
don't
he's
know.
Close
that.
to diabetes.
And he
Oh,
can't
wow.
see
Or
out
stroke,
the other
I'm
eye?
sorry, stroke.
Oh, okay.
So,
I
Like
just-
another friend of ours we know that hasn't responded back if she's going to have a meeting on Monday for the state of Jefferson.
Oh. Okie dokie. So, anyways, yeah, he does a lot for us out here, One Eye Blind Media, Chris Starkey. So we want to give him a shout out. Just that, you know.
Yeah, he does an excellent job.
I'm really hoping some of the candidates get to him this time around and actually pay him to do some stuff for him because he does a great job, and he's been doing a lot of it for free for the candidates. And it's time to pony up with some of that money and kick it back to some of our local people. And I think he'd be a good one to kick it back to, and especially to get your Facebook operational for your campaign, get you different logos going. He can do it all. He's a good guy. He's really getting in the thick of it with the politics.
I really like that Shades with the Sheriff that he did.
Yeah, he did a really good job. And I think he's planning on doing that with all the city council and everybody who's running again. So that'll be pretty good, at least in Sutter County area is going to do that.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get to see another Shades with the Sheriff. So that'll be kind of cool.
You know, we could have cage matches.
Cage
He
fighting.
could do a cage match live.
That would be cool.
Two people enter, one person leaves.
Oh, we could start off
we
with
gotta get
Joan
some-
Saunders and Andy Vasquez.
But hey, there's no good cage match. You got to have a midget.
You know,
They
there
just
used
make it better, you know?
the old Marysville Auditorium that stood across from, across catty corner from Carl's Jr.'s in Marysville. It used to be a huge auditorium there. They used to have midget wrestling back in the 40s.
Oh,
Can you
I never
Can you say
attended a
midget,
place.
or do you got to say little people?
well, I don't know. I just said midget.
I just said it too.
I think you can say midget, but I'm not sure if you
I
can say
haven't.
midget.
Well,
I
if-
haven't been struck by lightning yet.
Can
I
you-
think you can still say it.
Can you say widget?
Yeah, you can say widget.
If you can
But
say
I was-
widget, then you should be able to say midget.
Okay, just didn't know. I was.
Well, it was midget tossing.
Midget tossing.
They called it wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh boy! Alrighty then.
We're gonna burn in hell. Look, headlines: Appeal Democrat, Sutter County Fire Chief. We're in dire straits, and he wasn't talking about the rock group.
Okay.
Aging equipment, non-comparable pay, and injuries plague Sutter County Fire Department.
So what's the pay? That's yeah. That's my first question.
It's non-comparable.
Comparable to Donald Trump?
I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's comparable to an assemblyman.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I imagine
I'd
it's
have to
probably
dig
more.
into some of those salaries and benefits, man, because I think it's comparable, my friends.
Randy just texted.
Oh, he did?
We've offended Randy.
Oh, no. He's not a midget.
Oh, I know he's not a midget. He's offended by it. See, thick-skinned.
I
Gotta be
know. We're
thick-skinned
going
to be out
offend
here
somebody.
at Mount Huth,
They're going to have to get over it.
or he'll be mad a long time.
That's right.
One of the two.
I like the mat a long time. Some people never get over it.
He said it should be vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged.
Not little people, not midget,
Well, they
vertically
used to have
challenged.
vertically challenged.
See, look, he's
Well-
not even at the radio show, and he's part of the radio show. This is good.
I just, I guess I wasn't thinking when I said midget. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
just
it's all
said
Tom's fault.
I just said whatever I felt like saying.
Whatever, Four Eyes.
Where's yours?
I don't need them. I figured out how to enlarge my screen on my Mac, so I'm good. I don't need glasses anymore.
That's what I do. I always just buy a bigger monitor.
Road signs? I don't need to read stinking road signs.
I'm at 27 inches now. I'm going to have to go to the 34 next.
Well, the road signs, all they keep doing is telling me to slow down. You're breaking the law. By the way, Tammy's got to take traffic school now because I got a ticket.
Oh, man.
So
Sorry,
that was our deal. I don't know how we came up with that deal, but I like it. So we're going to go with that.
So I went to Petaluma this week during the evening.
Yeah.
And went out through the Napa Valley.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was a beautiful drive.
Isn't that a nice area? I really, really like that area. I like going over there with the car, zipping around.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are CHP everywheres over there. They're just itching to write you a ticket.
Oh, yeah.
We were just cruising along. But we didn't go back that way because I went over there with my brother to buy a pickup.
Take Highway
Yes.
12? Or?
What were you guys in? Did you take
We
the
were
bikes?
we were in his little Ford Fiesta ST.
Ooh, a Ford Fiesta ST.
Now that doesn't sound too impressive, does
Oh,
it?
it sounds very
But
impressive.
man, I'm telling you, that thing is fast.
It gets it, huh?
Yes. So, but he was very contained.
Yeah.
And then on the way home,
Was it like a Fiesta?
yes, we had a little Fiesta. On the way home, I got to drive the Fiesta because
Yes.
he's bringing his new truck home, and he said to me last night because we went out for his birthday. He said, "Man, you were going way too fast in that Fiesta," and I said, "Well, I thought I was doing 55, because I didn't have my glasses with me."
That doesn't work as an excuse. I tried that one. I couldn't see the speedometer.
Yeah.
So did he get rid of his Jeep?
Oh no, he still got the Jeep.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Because I liked his Jeep.
Yes,
Him and Vince have got it going on with the nice Jeeps. You're going to have to
Yes.
upgrade now.
yes.
They got some nice rides. I
They
like
got
yours
some good
too.
looking Rubicons.
But
huh?
yeah, they get that Rubicon. They got it going on with
Yeah.
their. They got some nice aspects.
They both took off the two front things on the bumper too.
Yeah.
It had like extensions, so you can do a little crawling over things down at the mall.
Yeah, exactly. Have you guys been out yet, or are you still just mall crawling?
I got mine parked in the shade right now, man. Yeah. But maybe this year we're going to get out there a little bit. You know, the problem is when in summer we're working like a dog. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to make it while it's there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about picking up another one, so we need to go again.
We got a lot of spare parts now, man.
I bet you do. So, you know what Jeep stands for, don't you?
Refresh my memory.
Just empty every pocket.
There you go.
And there you go. Because you buy a stock one, I don't care if it's a Rubicon or not, you just started spending, buddy.
Yeah.
It's like a Harley or
Yes.
a Vet or any other toy that you buy. You just started spending.
And it's fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Upgrading those things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But that has nothing to do with politics.
no,
does
it doesn't. But you know what? It does have a lot to do with politics because if politics are going well, you know what? We're all doing well. Just like our presidency. Take a look. I mean, my pocketbook's getting fatter, and a lot of people's are. I mean,
I'm waiting.
the kids. Well, it's kind of hard whenever you're retired or
Yeah, I know.
semi-retired.
Yeah,
It's a
you're on
little,
Social Security.
it gets a little different. But it's amazing to me because, like I say, there's help wanted everywhere. So
Yeah.
you want a job, you got a job.
Yeah. I believe before we even had President Trump, there's always work if you want it.
I never did starve,
Yep.
but it wasn't as easy as it is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that. Yes, the market is dying for people to want to work.
Oh yeah, if you want to work, there's no shortage of it.
We need to pretty much slash welfare. You
Yeah.
know, and get some of these people out into the workforce.
I think the last welfare check should be next month, and just send everybody a pair of work boots and gloves and a hard hat.
Can I get one?
There you
Yes.
go. Here's your last welfare check. We already cashed it in for you. You got some boots, a hard hat, and a pair of gloves. Go figure it out.
Now, we were talking about the retirees, okay?
Uh-huh.
So, and we talked earlier about the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association,
Yes.
okay? And they're defenders of Proposition 13 and
Yes.
many, they're advocating against this huge ripoff with the gas tax,
Uh-huh.
So we need to support that Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association because these politicians, they don't mind throwing grandma off the cliff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Taking and increasing her property taxes. We have a lot of people on fixed incomes and in their property, and they do. They don't. Their earning years are over, so a certain amount of protection needs to remain in place, and Proposition 13 is one of them.
And there's a Proposition 13 related bill or initiative that should be on the ballot in November, and that's if you're 55 and older, you'll be able to sell your home and buy another one and take your existing Prop 13 rate with you.
Oh, wow.
So you won't be debited, you won't be injured with a higher tax rate if you buy another home.
Well, and it's like Tammy talks about whenever she does her Constitution class, is a elodial title.
Yes.
And if you still had a elodial title, once you own it free and clear from the bank, taxes stop.
Yes.
And I think that's the way our system was set up.
It was in the beginning, yes.
To whenever you did retire, you normally had your house paid off. So then it was yours. You didn't have to worry about property tax. You didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. And it was yours, and it was your, then there was no tax increase or taxes, and they couldn't take it from you because you had a lodial title over it. It was yours.
That was
solely.
That was some ultimate freedom there.
Yeah.
And some pure liberty.
Can you imagine owning something that you don't have to pay any kind of tax on?
Yes.
Because right now, even on your vehicle, after you pay for it, you're still paying license fee on it.
Just about everything you got, they're taxing.
They're taxing some way, shape, or form.
Yes, and like we talked about, I think it was last week, it's coming. They're going to try and tax the sun.
Meter on your bed.
Yeah. Well, so the hotter it gets, the higher your taxes.
Well, and it's like we were talking about last week, that new solar controller that we bought for the property has now the solar controller is the part that takes the energy from the sun, runs it down, and that's what charges your batteries. It's the brain of the operation, basically.
Yeah.
Well, the new solar controller that we bought has a MAC address on it. A MAC address gives it just like a Social Security number. So if I was to plug that into my house, which I'm not going to, but if I was, all of a sudden they would know exactly how many kilowatts per hour I'm pulling down from the sun. Why?
And when?
Yep.
Yeah.
And how much
whose business is that?
Then how much I'm using. So it's basically your electric meter on your sun-powered energy. It's basically an electric meter on your sun-powered energy. Now, it's like anything. Nobody cares about that information right now. But a few years from now, we're going to do this test and just see what it's like. If we were to tax you just 1 cent on every kilowatt you used, it'd only be like $1 a month. Come on, Jay, you can afford to pay that $1 a month.
Come on, Jay.
Come
Why
on,
do you hate the children so much?
Exactly. You don't want children to die over shopping carts, do you?
Right.
And that's exactly what it's coming down to. So everything they're selling with the higher end solar controllers has this technology built in.
Yep.
If you want to read a good book defining all that stuff you're just talking about, is the author's name, and you can get it on Amazon, is Patrick Wood, and the book is called Technocracy Rising. Okay, so it talks about like we see with the water. Okay, with the utilities, it talks about many things, but one of the aspects of the book, it talks about the total control over energy. Now, I was talking to a guy this week, and he talked about there's talk in California with the dictator Brown trying to limit every human being in California to 55 gallons of water a day. Did anybody else hear that?
I did. And it talked about, if you're a single guy, that you really couldn't wash your clothes and take a shower in the same day or something to that effect. I didn't read it all together.
What if you got a father with 6 girls, right? Or a family with 6 girls? I mean, Do they use the bathroom a lot?
You're going to have some awful stinky girls.
You're going to
Yes.
be giving up your 55 gallons of water right away.
It's 55 gallons per person.
Well, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
but
Your
still.
55 gallons, you're going to be giving that up.
yeah.
You're not going to get any gallonage for you.
Each one of them needs at least 56.
Exactly. So I don't know, but exactly, it's scary.
Yeah, all energy and all resources to be managed by the technocrats. Now that sounds far out, okay, but we have the smart meter, we have the smart refrigerator, everything. We even have the smart solar controller that you're talking about, and so the beat goes on, right?
We got that camel's nose into
Under the tent.
yeah.
Yes.
I used to have a 90-pound dog named Buster. And, he'd do this leg folding back thing. And pretty soon his head would be on your lap, right? And then pretty soon one leg would fold back, the other leg would fold back, and you'd have a dog up to his chest on your lap.
Halfway
The next thing you know, there'd be one leg up on the armchair. Then the next thing, the other leg. Then you have this 90-pound dog sitting on top of you. You're like, how the heck did I'm having problems breathing? You're like, man, come on, dude. You got to get off. How'd he get up there? With just a little
Inch
bit at
by
a time.
inch.
That's right.
Yes.
A little bit at a time.
Hey, so we got some other things going on here. The unions run the politicians or run California. It's unbelievable how much union pressure and management they do here in this once golden state. But there's a bill going to committee, AB 3121, where it would make a conversation between a union rep and an employee of a company privileged, just like your doctor or lawyer. So nobody would have to testify about it if there were a sexual attack or something that was union related. It wouldn't be let out into the public. You couldn't talk about it. You're capping on your First Amendment rights. It's nuts. And there's more than that coming from the unions. Janus, Janus, Janus or Janus, versus some, it's back east. It's a Supreme Court decision that's coming, and most everybody is pretty sure it's going to go against the unions, where union members will not be required to pay their dues. It won't be a requirement anymore. If you don't want to, even though you may be represented by a union, you won't have to pay. And that's expected to hurt the unions all over, which, in my opinion, is a great thing. I mean, unions had their time, but
Sure, because these a lot of people that have a union job do not support the politics of the union, and the union is definitely into the politics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by far, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, big time.
Definitely. So, I don't know. I have a problem with unions. They don't like me too much. I think they're all a bunch of feet shufflers whenever they're out on the job sites, and we don't get along at all. We really don't. Mm-hmm. And my problem is I have multiple problems with the union.
I've had a few myself.
But it just seems like, in a nutshell, feet shufflers.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I'll shuffle my way up to the sixth floor after lunch, and I'll turn right back around, say I got to use the restroom, shuffle my way back down, and before you know it, you've lost 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, at $70 an hour.
Yeah, shuffling your feet. So
yeah, there's a lot of bad repercussions from the union.
yeah.
So now there's another one too, and it's AB 2577, and it's a bill that would allow a deduction an amount equal to the amount paid or incurred during taxable year by a taxpayer to member dues to a labor organization. In other words, they're going to let you deduct your union dues from your taxes. Now, give me a break.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that's not good.
Well, then you might as well, if you're going to go down that road, then
I'd hire the mafia. They'd only want 10%, like the church.
Your burglar alarm permit, you should be able to deduct that. Yeah. Your gym association, right?
Any of that stuff, you should be able to deduct it, is what I'd be looking at.
Yeah.
But, whatever. It's, I don't know.
It's the fox watching the hen house
Exactly.
program.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Like I say, we got some big races coming up for us local with the sheriff, city council, supervisors, and
we need to check with Darren Gale and see if we need a permit now to teach the Constitution. Don't forget.
yes, we do need to check with him first to make sure that we're okay. Wow, unbelievable to teach the Constitution class. Whatever. So, speaking of that, permits. This is unbelievable to me. Well, it's just unbelievable to me at how much it costs to put a shovel in the ground any place anymore. How does anybody get anything done at all? And the taxpayers I don't think they quite get that whenever it costs that much for the developer to put the shovel in the ground, that the price is being passed right along to them.
Yeah.
As a developer, I'm not going to absorb it. I'm going to pass it on to whoever's buying it at the end. So it isn't like that it's just on the developer like they would like you to believe.
I think a lot of people are conditioned now to be weary of any kind of resistance. You know what I mean? They think they're powerless, and it's like the frog in the pot program, right?
Yep.
Turn
up the heat.
Yeah, and they're just kind of thinking,
people, you're not helpless. You need to go speak out in front of your city councils, and speak out in front of your planning commissions, speak out in front of the board of supervisors.
And this is the part that gets me: is they go, well, whenever I do that, they don't listen.
Yeah,
well, it's an election year.
Persistence pays off.
Yeah, but not only that, it's an election year. If they aren't listening, replace them.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. I mean, they work for us, folks. I mean, you got to get that through your head that they work for the people.
Yes.
I know they don't think they do, and I know that it's hard to believe, but the fact is they are public servants.
That's their position. They have elevated themselves in their own mind into officials.
Yes.
Yes. But, there's got to be a constant watching on these guys, and that's just the way we would not be having the limited freedom that we enjoy today, okay, if it wasn't for the watchdogs living before us.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's we all have an obligation to keep an eye on these guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it starts out at your local government, and you ask your local government what they can do, and they're going, well, I can't do anything with Sacramento.
It's time.
Well, then they've taken the wrong approach, because here's my idea.
Stan Cleveland was one that was his song.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do nothing.
I can't do anything. I'm just one guy against Sacramento.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Here's the deal. Is you're one guy who got elected.
Yeah.
And it took 4,000 or 5,000 votes to get elected, 3,000 votes, whatever. So you have the voice of 3,000 people.
Can you try?
Yeah, exactly. You can go to James Gallagher and say, look, you know what? It took 3,000 to get me elected. I'm not afraid of you, and I'm here for the people. And I think that you should be doing this. And, you could at least try for your constituents that put you in there. I guarantee you it's not going to be all friendly and huggy every time you see somebody. But the fact is at least try.
Yeah. Don't be a panderer.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't be an enabler.
Yes.
If you're living in fear of your state government.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yep.
That's backwards.
Yes.
Not the way it was meant to be.
Nope.
So, I don't know. I just find it to be very amazing whenever your elected servants tell you, well, there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
Well, take my voice and run with it.
First of all, a good education in the Constitution and attending the Constitution class, you're going to learn about interposition, your job to interpose on behalf of the people. That is your job.
Your job, that's right.
Yes.
If you're getting paid in any way, shape, or form from public tax dollars, your job is to interpose for the people.
And if you're not a big enough man to stand in that gap because you're afraid of what's going to happen,
Then get out.
Then don't run for the job.
Yes, exactly. You read my mind.
Find a job that suits you.
Yeah.
Because obviously that ain't it.
Yeah.
But the whole fact is you got these guys who want the job title but don't really want to do the job.
Well, yeah, and more than a lot of it too is they just need the money.
That's
Right?
true too. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's one of the best jobs going, right?
Well,
Cush.
and I mean, you think about it. I mean, the insurance alone is worth a bundle anymore. Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, you get a little bit of cash. Now, it's not a lot of cash, but the whole thing is
County
it's-
supervisor gets quite a bit of cash.
Well, they do in Yuba County.
Yeah. Cush. That's what I said. Cush.
You know, the Declaration of Independence points it out very clearly. Governments are instituted among men to secure these rights, talking about our God-given inalienable rights.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Learn
I think
it and live it.
we've lost that somewhere. We've lost a major portion of that somewhere.
Yeah. City Council of Yuba City. Learn it and live it.
Yes. And don't tell the people that, well, there's nothing I can do about that. You know what? Why don't you come up with something that you can do about it and give us that?
Yeah.
My dad always said it. Can't never could do anything. And my wife hates that term. My kids despise it.
Yeah.
And my wife
That's
is like,
because you beat it into their head. Huh?
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But and Tammy doesn't mind
But
it.
they're
She
never
just-
going to forget it either.
Exactly. Well, and my kids just absolutely hate it because I say it so much. Tammy hates it because she hears it so much. And the kids hate it because they know I'm right. But the fact is it's true. You know, if you say you can't, you haven't even tried. Try and then tell me you can't. I can deal with that. But if you don't even try, come on.
Yeah. And I like that other slogan you use. It says, what is it?
You got to show up to the showdown.
No, the one about being mad.
Oh,
So you either got to
mad.
get over it or you're going to be mad for a long time. Yeah.
Well, that's the way it is, ain't it?
And I got a little slogan I like, and it's called, this one came from my pastor, and it says, you never get what you expect. You only get what you inspect.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if they change the oil on your car and they leave the plug out of the bottom, and you didn't check your dipstick, you might not get what you
You
expected.
might not
Exactly.
get far at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it does you good to do a little inspecting.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And introspecting.
Yes.
So it doesn't hurt
So-
anybody to do due diligence.
Do we got any good tunes there to chase us out
Take
on?
us out? Yeah,
To
we
run
can
us out?
Let me see if I can get this thing opened up. Because we're usually all the way down to the end before
Yeah.
we're...
I'd like to hear a little tune to chase us on out of here,
I
Jason.
can do that.
Hey, Telegraph Road by Dire Straits.
Telegraph. Oh, I don't have that.
First came.
This is not a suggestion here.
One. Here we go. Have a good week, guys.
Yes.
God
See you
bless
next week.
everybody.
All right. Thanks for listening.